What's going on, guys? This is Bossrosslp, and welcome to the third of 4 developer commentary for creating Boss 1 View Realms Campaign 18. Today we're going to be looking at Zuper's section of the fight. Zuper's phase is what I would consider to be the weakest of the 4 in terms of overall quality, but I would not say it's necessarily bad. It's just one note, but I think the theme fits it pretty well overall. Like, Ethan's is all about spamming you with a bunch of meme shit. Jaden's all about getting everyone used to the controls, so his is sort of like a test phase. It's like a good setup with like a lot of easily dodged traps. Zuper's is sort of a mix of both, with the added mechanic of being able to use the whole board in order to dodge his attacks. But I'm just going to do my one run through, let you guys see it. Here we go.
I got to the other side of the mountain in less than a minute.
How long till
You
you
reach the summit. Oh no!
I can only advance horizontally.
And not enough. God, it's so shitty quality. I love it. So Zuper's load attack is the whole attack. Oh, you can't even read that, can you? Oh, well, that's a problem. Oh well. Not a big deal. Just says you are no god. I already changed the lift height, so Zuper's gonna have all this time to change his lift height. It's enough time. The deliverer of Camtasia crashes indeed. Hello. And there he comes in. Starts off pretty simply. I give a lot of lag time for when the attack occurs. Now comes the hard part. The fucking laser beams are the worst. Jesus Christ. I don't even know if it's like wide enough. Shit. Jesus Christ. About there. You find that if you dodge around here, you'll dodge a lot of this shit in the game. I think I would always choreograph my attack to text my location. Combo. Shit. Fuck. Woo. I love this. It's so hard. Christ. Zoe, I'm Jared. I'm Keiko. Pablo, I'm Alyssa. I'm David. I'm Lynette. About here. Ooh, jeez. About here. And down here. And that's the fight. Like I said, pretty simple. It's more thematic than anything else, which is alright. If you know what's coming, then it's not too difficult. I don't think Zuper's going to have that much difficulty with his part of the fight as compared to, say, Ethan's or Jaden's, which are difficult. Zuper's is probably the easiest of the 4 as well. Though there are sections that are really annoying. Again, the lasers are fucking hard as shit to dodge. Because they aren't choreographed. I'm probably going to choreograph them a little bit in like a more complete version, but we'll see. So, why don't we do our nice little run back and talk about everything that has appeared in Zuper's little turn. So, we're going to start off with a nice clip from the Holy Mountain movie that Vinny references occasionally about going horizontally through mountains. I know next to nothing about this. I just know this one line. Never seen it. Don't know anything. I just know this guy, he advances through mountains horizontally. So when I was actually creating this fight, the original mechanic was going to be an entire joke based upon that scene where you can only advance horizontally, where the screen would basically kind of look like this, where you'd only be able to dodge in this zone, and then like dog would go through the sides. But that ultimately did not end up working out, mostly because if I was going to do that, I would have to move these, and these are glued on hard, and you really can't move them. If you try to move them, you're wasting your fucking time. It's a huge waste, and it's just set up to be this way, so I think it would just be nice and thematic to just keep it this way, so it's not like annoying to reset up. So instead what I opted to do was to leave them there, but create it like a mechanic where if you're fighting dog in Terraria, how you have multiple platforms in order to fight dog. And that's actually hinted at by the background, which I think is probably the best part of the fight, how thematic it is. Like you can see it goes between purple and blue. Blue phase is where he skirts along the top and shoots lasers at you. Purple phase is where he's trying to charge you, which is displayed here. That's what I do feel is the best part, how I'm able to sort of emulate the fight against dog. Not perfectly, but at least to an extent. So you have, of course, your Mega Man, Woodman face there, telling you it's complete. Then he says, "You are no god," which is cut off by the white box. That's fine. I don't care nearly enough to fix that. And it says, "But I shall feast upon your essence regardless." This is the quote that dog either will always say, or at least will occasionally say when you summon him in the game. Of course, it displays Scourge of the Universe, which is a theme by DM Dokuro. This is a phenomenal theme. I highly recommend you give it a listen. Much shoutouts to a mod of Terraria producing music that is far superior to the actual game itself. I mean, the music in Terraria is not too bad, but it's definitely not Dokuro's level of quality, which is insanely high. And you get the nice message telling you to change your lift height to about max. What I mean by that is about there. Usually it's about like here or here with most of the characters. About there. If you do that, then you should be able to lift your character up, down, down, and not have to worry about bumping into anything. Which works. You don't want to make it too high. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that bad, but it's like distracting if it's too high. It can block some of the projectiles. You want to make sure it's as low as possible, so about half, so that you're not bumping into the walls and you're not like soaring above the lasers on the table, so it's easy to tell when you get hit. Even though in this fight it's ironically difficult to tell when you get hit because the energy balls have a very awkward fall down pattern, and the lasers come out so fast it's hard to really tell sometimes. Alright, let's begin. Good luck, you are going to need it. That's a joke. And now for the deliverer of Camtasia Crashes, Dick for short. Here he comes. So, let's go over all the sound effects, because that's another area I'm happy with, even though it was such a ball ache. So, F-Zero doesn't really have its sound effects down. Nobody has a video for F-Zero sound effects, unless it's GX. And GX sound effects are okay, but a lot of that is just laughing at the, yeah, you got boost power, and the intensity of the narrator. Sort of like the same thing with Pokemon Stadium. There's no real F-Zero sound effect for when you lap, because when you lap, it goes like the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, that noise. And you might recognize it from Super Smash Bros. Melee if you're playing Adventure Mode, and you're on the F-Zero stage, and you just hear that sound effect, and then all the cars come like zooming by, and you're supposed to stand on the platforms. I tried looking around for the sound effects for that in the Melee sound effects, and I'm sure it exists, but I was not able to find it. There's a very nice like 9-list video where it just lists all the characters in like 5 videos, some other animation or other sound effects. I know there's such. Even listening through the other stuff, I was not able to find it. I mean, maybe it's in the characters section if it's underneath Captain Falcon. I highly doubt it, since it's more a part of Adventure Mode, and you never hear it in standard gameplay versus mode. So I wouldn't imagine it'd be part of the character interactions and sound effects. So it was very difficult for me to find the F-Zero lapping sound. So what I was able to do was find gameplay footage of F-Zero. Luckily, when you finish a race, it nukes the sound and it plays that. Only issue is you still have the sound of the revving engines of the cars. As you can hear, you can like sort of hear the sound of the car revving. In order to mask this a little bit, I did two things. The first thing I did was that I grabbed whatever the dragon's name is from Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. I'm blanking on it right now. It's the N64 game. Basically, there's a mechanic in the game where you get a flute and you're able to warp to previously visited locations. And it has this whole cutscene where a dragon just soars above Japan, and you go to the location. It goes like, eh! It makes the dragon noise. Then it has the whooshing of sound, or whooshing of wind. That's basically what's going on here. As you can listen, you can hear the and a little bit of the wind in the background. It sort of mixes with the cars to create an interesting effect. However, I wasn't totally satisfied with that. So what I decided to do was to go full on with the reference of the car sound effects and give Dog his own car sound effect. Dog is now a race car. It makes sense if you've ever fought Dog before and you've run from one side of the world to the other. He will warp at supersonic speeds to come and charge you, and it hurts like a bitch. Either way, it is majorly choreographed by the Danger, middle, top, bottom, top left to bottom right, top right to bottom left. Those are the 5 ways Dog can charge at you in this fight. And initially, it's choreographed entirely by location. So, like, bottom, top, he'll obviously come out of the bottom and the top. However, as the fight progresses, the text will instead appear down here. Like, it'll say middle, which might fool Zuper, but I think Zuper's a little bit smart, and it definitely gives you enough time to realize. There are aspects of this fight that make it probably the fairest of the 4, yet at the same time one of the most unfair. Specifically, blue section is a lot harder than purple section. Purple section is very fair for the most part. It fools you, but it tells you it's going to fool you, essentially. That attack is just bullshit. It might not be very good on Tabletop Simulator. It doesn't work too bad in like the actual YouTube video itself. Like if you're playing with high quality on the actual video itself, like 720p, the lasers look just fine. Like they'd look awkward, but on Tabletop Simulator it might be a little bit awkward to dodge through the lasers. It's not too bad. You have room to dodge it. It's not impossible, but definitely doesn't give you very much time, especially when you're in the moment of dodging around. Then you have the laser balls, which just sort of go zoom, 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 and they're fucking stupid. I love it, though. You know, that is one annoying aspect of this fight I think I would change if I could just get rid of these goddamn walls. It would make it a lot easier to be able to dodge this shit. And I also wouldn't have to tell Zuper to increase the lift height, but it's just such a ball ache to move those platforms that I'm just going to really say, fuck it. It's the one section, and it's not that bad. It's, for the most part, serviceable. It's just not as good as the other 4, and not as great as it could be. I think I'm going to create a version later on after we do the campaign where I do remove the walls and just have its own separate tablet for if you want to play the tablet without the walls. The whole reason the walls are here is because it's just nice to have the walls to bump into so you don't accidentally overshoot. Makes it a lot easier for the other phases to tell when you're about to get hit or about to not cheat, essentially. I don't know what I'm saying, but basically it makes it so you can't accidentally cheat. It's just nice. So there were 3 laser beam shootout phases where it shoots out the zoom, zoom, zoom ball. It's like one regular size one like thin one, and one wide one. They're very, very similar. It's hard to tell if there's even a difference. And they all have the same zoom, zoom, zoom sound effect. Now, I should probably talk about how I found the zoom, zoom, zoom sound effect. I searched for energy ball sound effect, I believe. And it was kind of annoying to find a sound effect. However, I did find one sound effect somewhere. Yeah, energy ball with awesome sound effect by Cosbaren MB EMBE.
Boom.
I'm just gonna play this in the background because it's absolutely, no, that's a lie. I'm not gonna play it in the background. I'm gonna play it for you guys and video. Watch this. I'm gonna add a nice media file capture. It should be in my downloads folder, pretty close to the top. Well, I don't have the video downloaded here. Give me like 3 seconds. I actually only needed the sound effect. I didn't need the video because the video is so low quality. But hey, what are you doing? YouTube to... Alright. Years of using these download things to download other people's videos for assorted shit. Just years of it. Alright, here you go, kids. Are you ready for the energy ball? It's going to be pretty great.
Boom. Productions. Zoom, 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 zoom. Boom. Productions.
I wish I was that good. Holy fucking shit, man. You can't get any better than that. The way he zooms and the way he puts so much passion to it that you can actually palpably taste his exhaustion, but dedication to saying each zoom is quite inspiring. I sped it up, of course. Zoom, 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 because that's, I mean, what is he going to do? You going to listen to zoom, zoom the whole time? Now, if you want to get the full quality zoom, you have to go watch the video. I can't be a complete thief. I'm only an 80% thief. Anyway, the laser beams should be pretty obvious what they're from. It's Max from Orcs Must Die, specifically Orcs Must Die 2, saying combo. I was trying to find his sound effect for when he goes pew, 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 when he's shooting his crossbow and OMDU. However, I was unable to find that, so for the next best thing, combo. Zuper's fight is just filled with annoying sound effects, and I love it for that. Come on and zoom, come on and zoom. There is no green screen of zoom. I made that myself. It's really shitty. How do you like it? Thanks. Then you get the nice thing saying top left to bottom right, and then top right to bottom left. It's a little cut off, but you get the idea. You can kind of see it. Yeah, you can see it. It's just a little bit awkward. Then they come flying in pretty fast. That's even faster than usual. Their speed, it doesn't matter. Dog speed, whether it's 200% speed or 250, it doesn't make a difference. They just fly on the screen too fast for you to avoid if you weren't paying attention. This one gives you plenty of space to dodge in the four corners. And you get the middle. I find that if you generally stick to the bottom, you're pretty fine with this fight. That's a bit of an exploit with it, but hopefully Zuper doesn't pick up on that. I mean, Zuper picking up on exploits, that never happens. I really think I would choreograph my attacks, attacks by location. Again, that's what I was saying. I was trying to find a way of saying that without making it so wordy, but that's pretty much the best way I could think of to do it. Danger top in the middle. This is like one of the better parts of the fight, I feel. Like this part right here is, in my opinion, to toot my own horn, pretty clever. Using the text to sort of flash you that there's danger here and here, but in actuality, it's only danger from the top and the middle, which means what you would likely do is sit in the middle where there isn't flashing text, and you might get hit by dog. However, you have to go down to where there's danger not at the bottom. It's a very simple part of the fight. More combos. To be fair, that's also the most annoying attack of dog to dodge, in my opinion. The laser walls are a pile of shit. Then you get the characters appearing, because why not? Do. Danger from the middle, danger from the top right to the bottom right. You got two areas you can pretty much dodge that from. Danger from the top right, the bottom left is basically reversed. And finally, coming from 4 of the 5 corners, top, middle, top left to bottom right, and top right to bottom left. Giving you 2 areas to dodge, either on top of Vincent and his crew, or over here in the corner, which is much easier to dodge over there. Really, you have to think about that one in order to be able to dodge it. There you can kind of see one of the mistakes I was unable to make fixed. And you can kind of see when everything's pixelating. Let me see if I can get a good image of it. You kind of got it there. It's very hard to see. It's pretty in the background. But there is in the background the remnants of the original way I was going to make the boss fight, where you had the dodge up and down. Basically what happened was the walls had opened up and you could dodge up, 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 down, down, down. It was like these were the lines, these were the corners, and you could pretty much dodge in between these and dodge into these little crevices, which would have worked okay, but again, I would have had to create extra walls in order to like block that, and that would have just been a chore. While that's not difficult to do, it would have been difficult to do on the fly when I was doing all 4 of our fights at the same time. Because you got to imagine, when this is all complete, all 4 fights are going to be at the same time. There's no time for me to just go off the table and switch them around. I gave Zuper time to increase lift height, and that was like 15 seconds. In order to fix these walls, it would take at least like 3 to 5 minutes. So rather than break from the atmosphere of the fight, I'd say just let it go. Add a thing where you increase lift height, call it a day. So then it fades, and it's time for the final phase of the fight, of which I think it should have been pretty obvious. I was going to make it pretty clear that I have a section of the fight, even though it's like, no, Ross doesn't have a section of the fight. He made the thing. Of course he doesn't. But no, he most certainly has a section of the fight, and you guys are going to get to experience that next. All right, let's get on to part 4 of 4 of the fight. Thank you guys for watching.